He said grab the seat. This is going to begin in 5 hours.
Your butt. What's that?
5 hours. Yeah.
Tape is the one thing that you're going to spend $1 on that will save your life. All right, this is going to be your 5-minute introduction to first aid. Basically what I'm going to do is we're going to introduce ourselves. Since you may not know our background, I'm going to go over what anybody who is not medically trained needs to have in their kits for people who may come up to you who may be medically trained. For instance, like in your range bag or in a first aid box or a kit or actually a bag, whatever you do. And I'm going to go over or list those items, and then I'd like to have a conversation. If you have questions about why do I have this in my bag, or why do I need this in my bag, or what do I do to do this, or anything like that, that's what I'd like that most of this to be over. I want to be back and forth. My name is Eric. I am nobody really. Resume?
Well, I'm Brian. I've been semi-involved in the medical field my whole life. I started out as a lifeguard, firefighter, EMT. I went into the military after that. I became a combat lifesaver, which is glorified like a first responder. After that, I've done various jobs. I'm now a certified surgical technician at Cleveland Clinic, and I do scrub the heart surgeries and thoracic.
In case you missed that last part, he is a technician in the OR.
So I set up the sterile field to hand the instruments over to the docs, and I'm in charge of sterility throughout.
First aid kits. If you do not have one, I can't emphasize how important it is that you do have one. You can go to Walmart. This here is actually Brad's kit that he keeps in his little kitchenette area there. When we're done, I certainly want you guys to come up and look at it before we go into like the questions area. Like, you know, if you want to know what this is for, that's when you would ask. This kit, he says, was like $8 or9 at Walmart. I just bought this kit today at Office Max, and it's not what it is touted to be. It's supposed to be a 25-person kit. It is not. Anytime you have a kit that has this much tape in it, that's a half to 1-person kit. Okay? Seriously. You need a roll of tape this big, and then one this big, and then a whole set of different, you need tape. Tape is the one thing that you're going to spend $1 on that will save your life. Tape. Just tape. Will take care of a sucking chest wound, front and back. You don't need occlusive dressing, just tape. So come up and look at these whenever we get done going over the ingredients in them. Are basically level 1, 2, and 3. Level 3 is not something that you are going to do unless you are medically trained. Right. EMT or higher. First responders do not carry level 3 med kits. Responders carry level 2s. What I carry in my bag is a little bit different than like what this guy, Brian, has in his bag. It's also different than what you might have in your bag if you don't have any medical training. For your first aid level 1, you need to have it for minor care. If you carry a weapon, you need level 1 plus. Level 1s don't carry trauma bandages. Trauma bandages, and I meant to bring some and I didn't bring any, are at least 5x9s. 5x9s will seal a wound and keep it from continuing to bleed. Do not use absorbent materials on a gun wound. You will bleed to death. Tampons, maxi pads, toilet paper rolls, anything that will absorb all of your liquid, don't use. You want something to apply to the skin that will stop the bleeding. Occlusive dressings are great, but all you need is something to stop from bleeding. Tape is great. It will bleed through, but you won't bleed to death. Again, if you're carrying a weapon, you need a trauma dressing, not necessarily for the person you shot, for yourself. If I come upon you and you're dead and I don't have my kit, but you've got yours, I'll keep you alive. What you need in level 1 is minor care. Band-Aids, 2x2s are really good. They'll stop once you put something on the wound, never take it off. Add more to on top of it until trained medical people come to get you. Again, tape. I don't know why that's there. I'm being facetious. Very important. 2x2s, 4x4s, trauma bandages, 5x8s. In a basic, not necessarily trauma, you need, in level 1, you need things like Neosporin, anti-itch creams. You could have things like, and you personalize it for your family. Aspirin, ibuprofen. Was there something wrong?
No, I thought I moved it.
Aspirin, ibuprofen, like who? Didn't you just ask me about back pain? Who? Okay, Milana asked me about back pain. If you're allergic to back pain, don't put it in your box. Because if for some reason you're unconscious and you get an infection, someone may get, oh, back pain. That takes care of infections. They give her infection. They give her that for her infection. She's unconscious. She doesn't know to say no. Now she's dying because she's allergic to back pain. So only carry things in your kit that you want to be used on you. Because your kit's not just for you. It's for, you know, Beth comes upon you and has to administer emergency first aid. She needs your kit, if that makes sense. Antiseptics, a lot of people use wipes. That's one thing that came in this kit, a lot of wipes. Antiseptic wipes and alcohol preps. In case you're gonna cut someone, we're gonna talk about someone cutting somebody over, that's funny. Betadine or hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. And alcohol, you know, like bourbon, whiskey, whatever. CPR mask is a good addition to your first aid one. If you know CPR, don't carry things that you don't know how to use. Like you don't want to carry an endotracheal tube scope if you don't know how to do endotracheals.
But I stayed at Holiday Inn Express last night.
Doesn't matter. Super glue.
Yes, a beer.
Yes.
Why would you have super glue?
Sutures.
Close wounds. Or tape.
Duct tape.
I said damn tape in here. Scissors, trauma scissors. This is what you need to carry. This is what they look like. When you go to buy them, you will spend 20 bucks on your scissors. Don't spend 5.
Right.
And don't expect the kit to come with a pair of scissors that's going to be useful.
That's
Period. Those are just I think, my God, they're safety scissors too. All trauma scissors actually are safety scissors. These are actually originally meant for castings. This is a one-time use from surgery, I guess?
No.
You bought these?
Breast.
But feel them.
Of course I did.
I mean, you literally feel like you could bend them. When you buy a pair of trauma scissors will have the little lip on the bottom so that when you're coming under your watch band, it's not going to cut you. Where normal scissors...
And you cut a penny in half.
Feel that?
Sensitive.
Normal scissors will cut you, these will not cut you. In other words, if I have a bleeding chest wound, you can't treat me through my clothes, you have to cut off my shirt.
That's why they pay the big bucks, because you sometimes may have to look at someone like Eric.
You ever think about carrying mass trauma?
No.
You need a pen light. I don't carry one, but I have a pinpoint flashlight. Same thing. You need to be able to see. You need to be able to, if you're medically trained, you know why you need a pen light. To explain why you need a pen light in short strokes, you can tell a lot about someone's blood condition from their eyes. Their trauma actions, head wounds. I think I got cut. That's funny.
Safety scissors, my eye.
Yeah.
Safety Sally.
So, a pen light is a really good addition to your level 1 kit. All of these things are in your level 2, by the way. Also your level 3 if you're carrying only one kit. If you carry a 1, this is the stuff we're all in. If you're carrying level 2, it's all this, and then I'm going to add to it. Level 3 is all this, and then whatever I added to 2, and then what he's going to add to you. Why do I have whiteboard even? A tourniquet. Unless you are medically trained,
Don't use it.
I would never expect you to use a tourniquet. You are better off addressing the wound itself. There are ways to kill someone with a tourniquet that if you're not trained on how to apply and disengage, you can kill somebody.
Snake bite or something, like you try to keep it.
That, if that is a concern, I have never carried a snake bite kit, but that's
For the tourniquet.
because, oh, well, it depends. If you get bit right now, yes, and applying a tourniquet would help you. If I walk to you and say, man, I got bit by a snake, don't apply a tourniquet. Because all you're doing is nothing, really, other than killing the limb.
How about it slows the venom?
If it's already in, it's in.
Okay.
In other words, I bite here, within 2 minutes, it's here. And the farther up toward the heart it moves, the faster it moves. So, you know, if you get bit, yes, you can apply a constrictive bandage, not a tourniquet. Tourniquet, you're going to lose the limb. Depending on what the animal, you may lose the limb. A lot of different snakes do a lot of different things. If it is a concern, add a snake bite kit. Go to the
Learn how to use
library.
it first.
What's that?
Learn how to use it first.
Go to the library, get a book on snake bites. Get a book on first aid.
Every snake bite kit I've ever seen for sale in camping stores, whatever, they come with a book that tells you how to use them. While I'm reading that book, you're dying. Okay, so look at the book first, learn the process before you have to use it.
Amen. Gloves. Always have gloves on you. You have no idea what you're getting into. You have no idea what they have. You have no idea what the person who bled on them has. If you've ever tried to apply tape with bloody, damn tape again. If you've ever tried to apply tape with bloody hands, it's not going to work. You might as well just kick them, walk away. That's a joke, by the way. And some type of blade. You need some type of
Scalpel.
something that can be purified, sterilized. Thank you. Scalpel is a great. You can actually buy sealed scalpels. I've even, like when we went to Columbus, I saw them on the table there at Columbus. Buy one sealed, leave it. They are sharper than anything you've ever seen in your life. Once you apply it to the skin, you don't even have to cut, they go in. Some type of razor blade. Keep that in the sheaths. You can actually go to like drugstores and buy razor blade, straight razor blade kits. Just put them in your pack and leave them alone until you need it. Why would you use a razor blade? Other than to shave.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Clean up a wound.
Snake bite. Why would you use it on a snake bite?
For a very short period of time after the bite, but the venom is right by.
That is a key statement. If it is you, use a straight blade on your snake bite. Cut her deep, cut her wide. Suck it all out. Nothing.
It's too late.
It's too late. Get them to a hospital.
You suck it all out.
Or dig a hole.
Don't.
No,
No,
That's why they
it
have
won't.
the snake bite kits have little squeezy things.
but you can, the snake bite, snake venom, the snake venom isn't,
Yeah, but I have medical
you
reasons.
It's not in your
drink it.
bloodstream if it's in your mouth.
It'd be fine, it'd be killed and neutralized in your stomach, unless you have open wound in your
Even then, you're gonna get so little of it into an open wound in your mouth, you may get, depending on the snake, if it's a neurotoxin or a blood toxin, the wound may get worse with the blood toxin, the wound may get numb or lose nerve endings in your mouth, if it's a neurotoxin,
but it
Transference
neutralizes.
is gonna be so little that it's gonna be.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but
The amount of liquid that comes out of a fang of even a viper, if you put it in a cup and drink it, unless you have open sores in your mouth, it will not get to your bloodstream. And by the time it hits your stomach, the hydrochloric acid literally neutralizes it. But don't swallow
I was
it.
always,
Suck and spit.
I was always told never to do that. And that was in
It changes all the time as well.
Well, just like CPR, when I first took CPR, it was 30 compressions to 2 breaths. It's now,
No breath.
you do compressions. Don't need oxygen.
compressing the chest is moving the lungs, drawing oxygen in and out.
Even that, the amount of oxygen in your blood, there's 21% oxygen in the air. When we breathe in, we take in 21, we exhale 16. We don't use near what amount of oxygen that's in our air. So there's enough air in the lungs by itself to oxygenate the blood while you're pumping. Tweezers. Tweezers are good. Never used them, but certainly if I had something stuck in me that I couldn't get out with my knife or whatnot, tweezers would certainly be a good addition to a level 1 kit. Level 2. Level 2 is going to go into what is called medium trauma, not mild trauma, like something that your kid gets out in the backyard. A medium trauma can be up to and including impalement from a logging accident, chainsaw, firefight, guns, open chest wound, stabbing, car crash, hematomas on the chest from steering wheel, things like that. Roll gauze, which you had some, I thought. Roll gauze is going to be in level 2. You know what roll gauze is? Does anybody not? You don't know what roll gauze is? Roll gauze is a light absorbent material that comes in a roll, usually they're measured in 2-inch, 3-inch, and 4-inch. Some occupational, athletic therapy uses 6-inch. That's, for like big guys. Roll gauze comes in a 4-yard length. So basically you put your sterile dressing on and your tape, and then you roll gauze around it. If you don't have anything, roll gauze will help be a bandage, not a dressing. Dressing is sterile, bandages are not. Aseptic. Bandages are aseptic, meaning clean as possible, as in military. Everything's aseptic, nothing's sterile. Good. Trauma dressings. Large, non-absorbent, knives, gunshot, impalement, things like that. They
Like an
usually
8
5 by 8s and above. 5-inch by 8-inch bandage and above, meaning larger. In level 1, we went over some small bandages, which were 2x2s, 3x3s. In level 2, you're going to have 4x4s. 4x4s and larger, obviously. The more bandages you have, that means the more protected you are from bleeding out. And again, bandages are to stop the bleeding, not absorb bleeding. We don't want to absorb anything. Leave it in there until you get to medical help. Cravat, that's triangular bandage, usually used for, if you don't know what it is, think of somebody who has their arm in a sling. That is a triangular bandage or cravat. Or you need a large marker. Why would you want a marker?
Right down the line.
Keep track of what you've done.
Sharpie.
White
A marker
on their body.
right on the body of anything you did. Large, open, sucking chest wound. You dressed it, you occluded it, right on the occlusive dressing, what time it was, and your initials. So when I come up to Brian and I see do, oh, that's one I did. Okay. Or if they are dead, you put some kind of signification to that on their forehead. That's a whole other topic. Saline. Normal saline in a cup. I actually carry one, it's in a bottle like this. Oh, and it's right next to where I picked up. You can get these in the stores for like 50 cents to $3. Spend as little as possible. As long as it's sodium chloride, it's normal saline. That is for rinsing. You can actually use sodium chloride in the eyes to rinse out chemicals. You can basically do anything with normal saline. It is non-osmotic. Osmotic. It's non-osmotic, meaning it can go anywhere in and out of the body. It's not going to do anything to your cells. It is zero. Is that what it is? Zero?
Base.
It's a base, but it's not.
Not acidic.
No, it's right. It is perfect 0, 7. It's not going to give you acid or alkaline into your body. Thermometer. Thermometer will be a very good addition to level 1 or level 2. I don't carry one unless my kids are with me, just because I don't care what your temperature is. Sorry, it's not going to get that in depth. This kit that I got from Office Max today for too much money actually has a one-time use kind of thermometer. I would actually invest in, if I was going to make a kit and I didn't have stuff, I would actually invest into one of the touch thermometers that are quick, because I don't want to stick around you for 3 minutes with a glass thermometer. As other people will say. Thermal blankets. Anybody not know what a thermal blanket is? Or why you use it? Legend.
Are there any blankets that aren't thermal?
Needle.
In all honesty,
Why would you keep a needle? Oh, you're being serious.
A wet blanket.
blankets are built to hold in heat, that's what they're for.
Well, when I say thermal blanket, I mean go to the camping store and buy a space blanket, you know, that you can put, that would fit in your up top pocket.
The Mylar blankets.
Mylar, that's a good word too. Needles, why would you have a needle?
You can get splinters with this.
Splinters, if you don't have your tweezers.
Stitch somebody up.
Stitch somebody up. What would you use to stitch somebody up?
My suture kit.
If we don't have a suture kit or a staple
Fishing
kit.
line.
Fishing line?
The inside of a 550.
Problem with fishing line is it won't knot easily.
Sewing
Pardon me?
thread. Sewing thread.
Sewing thread?
I have found that the braided, the Kevlar or Dyneema fishing line knots low enough.
It does.
And it's,
I didn't know that.
it's built in a way that won't grow into your skin in a reasonable amount of time. Obviously, if you're out and, 2 days from the trailhead, you get injured, you need to sew yourself up, do so. When you get back to civilization, have it done by a professional. Don't leave those in there the 7 to 10 days that normal stitches would be in. Because depending on the material, it may grow, and your skin may grow around it and grow into it. Whereas sutures, nylon fishing line, like a monofilament, won't grow into your skin, it won't attach, it won't allow your skin to attach to it. Sewing thread, if you're using cotton or nylon sewing thread, because of the fibers in it, the skin can grow into it, and pulling those stitches can
Good
cause,
point.
can cause
So
pain,
no thread.
can cause
Same thing with polyester.
secondary infection.
So no 550.
Dental.
No.
In a pinch, sew with what you got, but get it fixed right as soon as possible. If you are,
You mean stop the bleeding?
No, if you have no hope of professional medical help, you're better off using a pressure bandage and tape than you are trying to sew it, because whatever you have to sew it with is probably not going to be what you're going to leave in there full time.
And whatever you sew it with, you're going to be closing into the wound.
Yep.
And making an even better environment is better. If you're going to be out there and you have no hope of seeing anybody, it's better just to let it heal by granulation rather than
Yep.
to try and sew yourself up.
Yep. Yes.
Super.
Anything you put into it is a chance for secondary infection or contamination.
Somebody said dental floss. Dental floss is a great one to suture with.
Wax.
The mint.
Wax.
Yes.
Cinnamon, I like the cinnamon.
Gets that minty freshness in your wound, it's awesome. But no, it's, since it's waxed, it's
Slide right out and you're done.
slide out like catgut.
Huh. Interesting.
That's another one. He's come up with a good one. Human hair. If you have nothing else to use, if you use 2 or 3 strands of human hair, long hair,
So I shouldn't get a haircut.
I wouldn't. But, you know how I feel about hair.
Wait, I can't reach it. Good points. Very good points. Styptic. Does anybody know what styptic is?
You're old.
I know what it is.
Beth, what is it?
Well, it's the same thing my dad always used to, when he was shaving and used to.
Stop the bleeding.
Stop the bleeding.
It's basically a mild antiseptic and a coagulant compound.
In a stick.
So what would we use styptic for? Tim?
Small cuts.
Small cuts. In other words, stop the bleeding. Yes, ma'am.
Can you spell that for me so I can?
Styptic?
Yes.
I'm a hillbilly, dude. S-T-I-P. T-I-K.
T-I-C, yes.
T-I-C.
Walgreens,
What was that?
Right next to his over, but yes,
I don't have any more.
It is Y. You're right.
P-T-I-C.
Thank you.
I wrote it wrong. I wrote I.
Walgreens carries it over by the razors and such.
You know where you
It's
go to
basically what Quick
the
Claw is, but
drugstore
it's a
and you
stick.
find the whipping shaving cream? I'm sure you've seen it. Or the whipping
It's just a
What do you call that?
It's a brush?
Shaving brush. You got a shaving brush, and then you got the shaving cup, and you've got razors, and you've got.
It's just it's in a little plastic tube about that big. It's a clear tube. It looks like kind of like a white crayon of sorts
Yeah.
with a,
Chalk
it usually
almost.
has a red cap.
Or you can get it from the veterinarian.
They actually stick
I
in
didn't-
powder.
Yeah, they have the styptic powder that you can take the dogs, because you can't see your dog and you clip him and now he's bleeding. You take the, and it stops.
Okay.
I think it's a little more expensive with the veterinary though, because it actually comes with more quantity.
You happen to know of that, you could maybe come up with something like that, you know.
Question on stopping bleeding.
Take,
If
sorry,
I'm taking, one of the standard,
anticoagulants.
what vitamin do I want to have in my
What vitamin?
E?
I need to get this guy a bottle. Anybody?
What is it?
Vitamin E.
E will.
Okay.
Vitamin K.
Honestly though, that's when you need to know how to do pressure bandaging. If you are on a heavy dose of anticoagulants, you actually need to start thinking more occlusive, not occlusive, circumferential bandages. Something that may actually make you lose a limb. Because on an anticoagulant, there's nothing I can do to you to make you stop bleeding other than pressure.
Yeah. And some of the new ones, not even vitamin E will help.
Right. Well, say for instance, like
Okay.
you have a big guy, okay, and he gets his brachial artery cut. If I don't put a tourniquet here, he's going to die.
Yeah.
If he's on an anticoagulant,
Yeah.
there's nothing I can do to keep you from bleeding out when you're on
Yes.
anticoagulants.
Knowing who you're with is,
Exactly. Or other emergencies. If you need to know who in your group is diabetic,
yeah.
heart condition. You need tape. Tape is the one thing that you're going to spend $1 on that will save your life.